Okay.
Alright, so we have 3 bourbons that don't appear to be in the shot. We have got Bardstown Fusion Series number 4, I believe.
These are like all the same color. It's amazing.
Is it number 4?
Number 3.
Bardstown Fusion Series number 3. We have Old Scout Smooth Ambler. And we have 4 Roses single barrel. All of them are essentially 100 proof, minus a few decimal spots.
What was that one?
Tenths of a number. These are of varying price points, so could make it a perfect theme, but if you want like well thought out, like good idea videos, you know.
Yeah.
Came to the wrong place.
Come on. What do you want? Best I could do is they're all 100 proof. Anyways, though, they're all kind of spread out in the price points. They're all equally apart from each other. Old Scout Smooth Ambler I got for $30. 4 Roses single barrels $45, and Bardstown Fusion was $60-ish.
Ooh, Bardstown coming in with the fancy.
Yeah, so
the fancy price.
They're all similar proof though, so but you'll probably be able to get like definitely different mouthfeel, viscosity, complexity from them. You know, proof will be the same, but.
And this is a blind taste test, and we're starting left to right, I assume.
Yes, Adrian, that's correct. I'm legally blind. Thanks.
I didn't say anything, Clay. Just remember that.
He has to point that out in every video. God, what an asshole. I poured a little not enough in this one.
I guess I'm using beer as my
That is,
the first whiff of the night is always the worst for me.
Yeah.
Like corn, maybe a little. And
I know these aren't rye, but I smell a little like, almost like dill, but...
I think.
That's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it. I was afraid I would look like an idiot if I said something.
Do you smell that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, this is, again, the first whiff. My nose will acclimate as I go through these, and then I'll come back and like, oh, this smells different. But
I almost get like a... Like to me, I don't know if it does to anybody else, but I almost get like a little bit of like a coffee-ish kind of note. Like not like a straight up coffee, but you get like a... I always thought like Mom gets these like you can buy them in the store, Starbucks like Frappuccino bottles, almost like that. Like one of those like more desserty ones, but it has coffee in it, not like
maybe like
coffee.
tiramisu
Or that.
I would say it's
nice.
Also kind of perfumey. Like I know that's like it has aroma, but I mean it's like I don't know. There's that wetness that you smell like perfume that kind of reminds me of a little bit.
I wish I could take a deep breath of it without it stinging the crap out of my nose.
You need a palate cleanser. I'm sipping. Seems a little smoky, but I say that about the first thing I drink every single time, and I think I'm usually wrong. So I'm not gonna commit to that.
Smells or tastes kind of like, I guess like dark chocolate, little coffee, and then like kind of like sweet corns. I think maybe. It's pretty good.
I'll go peppercorn.
Fairly complex. Pretty good
Peppery.
mouthfeel on it.
Yeah, there's just
Pretty
something
thick.
slightly spice to it, just slightly.
I like it, which is weird as strong as it. I mean, it's usually a bit stronger than what I like, but
Yeah, a little perfumey. A little.
It's not really mouth coating very much for me.
I think it's pretty good.
Of course, I'm dabbing at it because I don't want to. I always run out of one of them if I drink too quick.
I'm gonna go to glass 2. It's fairly sweet.
I like the fragrance of this one a lot more. It's a little more well-rounded, and yeah, there's some sweetness to it. It's a little honey-like.
toffee. I don't know.
A little rye. Kind of like rye bread, kind of like a dry rye toast, kind of. Not with butter, just like somewhere between regular toast and like rye toast or something.
Yeah.
But some kind of sweetness in it too that is kind of extra, separate. All right.
Now that one was more mouth coating for me.
Yeah. That's for sure.
That's kind of like explosive in flavor compared to the first one, but it was like sweet up front, and then it had sort of an aftertaste. I need to try again.
Almost like I get or like sweet floral, like rose or like lavender or something.
I was gonna say lavender.
I don't know.
The alcohol plume, like the fumes rather, like at the vapor at the end, like really kind of right, like the aftertaste for me is like switches into that alcohol vapor.
You don't get as
That one
much
kind of
as rye anymore.
Yeah, I'm not smelling tasting any rye on this one.
More just like sweet
that one kind of burns my tongue more than the first one. When I smell it again, it kind of smells like cherries or something, but I
actually taste it's. I don't know, if I'm really looking for something fruity, I kind of taste a little bit of orange, but
I don't taste it though. I smell it.
Get a little bit of oak, not a ton. Maybe like a little bit of honey or something. I mostly get like the sweet florally off of that one. I'm moving on.
Aye, Captain.
I smell vanilla on the third one.
I do.
A little bit of soy.
I do get a little bit of rye for this one, like toast. I think. Yeah, like vanilla and then some kind of sweetness overrides it a little.
Really faint brown sugar. It's buried. There's something a little leafy to it. Like hitting my sinuses a little. Let's drink.
Probably wrong here, but I definitely kind of more so from the last one I get on this one with the flavor. What I thought I got on the nose at first on the other one. I get kind of that like toast, like at first on the front of the palate, like some fairly well cooked toast, no butter, but and that kind of like mixed with it this weird like sweetness, like almost tastes to me like a crushed up like kids vitamin or something, like some kind of like artificial like chalky sweetness or something.
The sweetness with the toast is like throwing me off because it's like
an artificial sweet kind of. And it tastes like it's like a sweet fruit or like honey or something.
Yeah.
It's like
like a rye toast or burnt toast with sweetened low or something. Not quite that though.
Tastes like it's like a generic fruit, like fake sweetness or something. Like it was like a Tums or something. Like somebody ground up a Tums and put
Tums?
Like that kind of chalky, kind of like, but sweeter than that.
It's kind of runny and wet compared to the other two.
Yeah. I like the initial flavors off of it.
Yeah, and then it kind of sits for a while.
And you get the sweetness that I don't like. It's like a separate. It doesn't really meld well all together. It's like you first get some of the rye or toast kind of, I guess, flavors, and then it like transform in the back end to that weird sweetness.
I'm not getting any toast flavor, but I don't have tons of rye bread.
I don't either. I would say maybe even just more of like Just a regular toast, but kind of like not well done toast, but fairly cooked. So that kind of like dry, like grain kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I just went back to smell the second one. It's so much more buttery now compared to the third.
Go back to the first one, or
the second one's cool because the flavor like stretches out over almost a period of like 10 seconds. It's sweet, and then it kind of starts fading, and then you get that alcohol burn that builds back up in the last 5. So it's kind of a series of phases. This is just kind of like one and done. This is like, it sticks with you for a while. You know that's picking up on the mic, Cody.
They're jamming, dude. They're digging it. They're laying down fat beats, dude. Spitting bars, dude. Hot fire.
Oh, while we're talking?
No. If you don't have...
Gotta do something to test out the audience's new Beats by Dre headsets.
Yeah.
Those kids and their beats.
Okay, I'm going back
You
to the
don't seem
first
to be
one.
analyzing these as deeply as usual.
I'm trying.
Well,
Just,
how much analysis can you do when you already
when you're
know
just
what they
looking at
are?
I'm playing off
We
of...
already
yeah.
know what they are.
I'm playing off of Ricky over here. Well, I haven't had...
as we continue to give Cody more and more crap for sabotaging these experiments by researching and tasting the bourbons first.
Why don't buy bourbons and let them sit there until you guys over?
Clearly.
What would you guys say? Do you have any guesses as far as like? Well, I guess I can do that.
I mean, I have no idea what those were supposed to taste like, but I can probably tell you what my favorites. Well, I need to pick. I need to decide between 2 of them first.
I don't know what they're supposed to taste like either. I remember what I got off of them initially, but I'm not so sure anymore. What are you guys doing? Trying bourbons? This is the break period, sir. Watch the film!
I might have
We need to have...
got my second sips already.
Oh, yeah. I've already tasted all 3 of them.
Sorry, Cody.
Oh, no tasting notes on any of them.
You didn't even say stop tasting.
You're going back through again. You're gonna drink them in silence. Ricky,
I said the second one.
we're trying to make $1 million here. Jesus.
You know me.
I said the second one smelled buttery on the second pass through. Like I said that like 15 minutes
What?
ago.
No! Ah! You made my glasses fall off. I'm so mad.
We broke Cody. He's lost it. Lost the plot.
All right, audience. You and me will go back through. We'll start in glass 3.
We'll see about that.
I guess this is the Cody show now.
From now on,
It's always been the Cody show, Rick. We're just
this is
along
me
for
and the
ride.
audience's ASMR video. Yep. Number 3 is just... It's like it starts off and I like what it gives me, but just like that sweetness that I don't... I'm sure I can't
I mean,
give
it
like
literally like kind of tastes cheap.
Yeah.
Like
I am.
That's and it, like I
On
said,
to the
it's
third
that first little bit I like it.
Let's
and
see
then
how
it
this
just
goes.
It just kind of I don't know, just transforms into like that fake weird sweetness. I know there are certain bourbons. I think like what is it, like maybe like Willet or something. They say it has like a crushed up vitamin taste.
2013, man. This is where we're at.
clammy hands.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
You should feel my balls. Thought that was clammy. All right, going back to 2. Let's see.
Oh yeah. Going back.
First
Yeah.
time back to 2.
Yeah.
It's not quite as florally as it was to me the first time,
I already got my choices.
Same.
but it's a little peppery now. So I still do get the floral sweetness. It's like I need to go to the store and get something that's sweet rose and sweet lavender, and I can make up my mind which one this is. There's a bit of oak, but I don't know. I don't know what else I'm getting from it.
It's some of them.
It's definitely very
You know how much bank those ASMR channels make?
fairly high burn for 100 proof. I just get a lot of that sweet floral, and it kind of makes way to kind of a fresh cracked black pepper and a little bit of oak. Mouth feels nice, pretty coating. This one now smells more buttery, butterscotchy. Corn, butterscotch.
So that's what I would describe the second one as, not the first, but it's not that way, but the second one to me is stronger in terms of those aromas.
Yeah. Third one to me is just like scent wise, just so like it kind of has a weak scent to me. I'm having a hard time getting
Yeah, no, I'm with you that
anything beyond
drop off.
the typical bourbon scents.
You know what order you put them in, Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Guess we're just waiting on somebody.
Gotta A-B these some bitches.
Just wait on Cody and make his final thoughts.
Can't rush perfection.
There's a horse race going on in Cody's head. 1, 2, 3. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, here comes 2. Nope. 1's coming up.
Can't rush perfection, but you can rush disaster, which is why I'm rushing you on. This is a disaster, what I'm seeing here. This is dead air.
Am I meant to carry the whole conversation? You mean between the two of you? You can't.
We said everything there was needed to say.
Wow.
Alright. Crossfade here. Clock wipe. Cross dissolve. Zoom in on Cody. While I grow gray hairs.
Really hard.
Between 1 and 2?
Not for more.
Well,
Well,
I'm
that's
going to say my order.
Go ahead.
Alright, water. 2, 1, 3. In terms of best to worst.
That was my exact order. 2, then 1, and then 3. I don't know what 3 was. I hope it wasn't the one you paid $60 on, sir.
Be patient, YouTube. Good things come to those who wait.
Well, you drank.
Wow, you made that.
You had a lot left
harder
of your
than it
third
had to
one.
be.
You drank first at 2.
I'll agree with you, but it's really close between 2 and 1.
Unanimous.
Well, you know, so I'm gonna. Well, and plus, but don't forget, I think 1 was most complex for me, which I appreciate. 2 had a slightly better mouthfeel, and I think it just hit on more of the traditional bourbon flavors, you know? It's caramels and, you know, spices. 1 was more like, kind of like corn, and like I got a little coffee on it, and I'm not sure what all. I feel like it's a little more complex. 2 hit just a little bit. It felt like a more refined thing. Like the 1 felt more like
different, right?
1 felt a little more like experimental. Like there's a lot more going on, but I feel like 2 was just more. It's more simple, but it felt a little more refined. Better mouthfeel. I don't. The thing that I described was kind of like a floral sweetness. Not really for me, but I still think it kind of was a little more rounded, more well-rounded than number 1. Number 3. I like the initial taste of it quite a bit, but that fake sweetness, whatever, powdery sweetness to me is just kind of ruined it. The mouth feels worse than the other 2 as well, so.
2 to me is I don't find 1 to be all that complex personally. 2 to me is more layered and it has phases of flavor. Like I said, it lasts for like 10 seconds. They're both kind of a little bit on the woody side, a little bit on they're like darker flavors, if that makes sense. And they're kind of like, I think for both of those at one time or another we said we smelled things like rye or dill. 3 is definitely, I think, a little sweeter, but it's cheaper. It's less, the flavor's less well lasting. The mouth feels worse. To me, 3 is an obvious third, and for me, 2 is an obvious first. 1 is just kind of somewhere between. I'm not sure if I would say it's closer to 3 or 1 or 2. Probably 2. But to me, yeah, 2 stands out. Rick?
Kind of like the way 2 seems like 2. The burn on at the end of 2 lasts a little bit longer. I'm kind of beginning to like that. Yeah, I really like the. I'm trying to remember which one is the one I said was like dark chocolate.
Was that one?
I think that was one. Yeah. To me, like one, I like the flavors of one. It just kind of ends too soon for me. And 3 is just like so weak. I just don't even know where to start. Like how do I describe this? I mean, yeah, it's like toast and generic, some kind of sweetness to it.
It's fair on all those points.
So that's why 2, 1, 3 was my order.
So like 3 definitely seems like the least expensive of them. Seems the less quality.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say if it wasn't for that sweetness to it, that one almost might win for me because I really like the other flavors that it had, even though it's simpler and cheaper. I really like those, but that sweetness just...
Alright, Rick.
Do you want the reveal? Okay. So if we're facing the TV, it's A, B, C, but that's how it was originally. But see, what I did was I kept A the same, and I switched B and C.
What
are we doing with Cody?
The one on the left is the Bardstown, the $60.
Okay.
Number 1.
B.
The one that's right now. Okay.
2, your favorite, was the Four Roses single barrel, and 3 was the Old Scout Smooth Ambler.
Okay.
So pretty much. I meant to ask you guys which one you thought was most expensive.
Well, so, okay, so, like, pretending we were still on that side of the table.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rick just switched these.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
You're Cody, you're pretty sure then? This is why we shouldn't do it this way, for the record.
Well, it's just 3 bourbons.
Actually, I think it's the other way. I think this was the Four Roses single barrel,
left
and this
to
is
right,
this
facing
is
the TV.
Why did I think about it that way? Yeah, it's so the last one would be the Four Roses single barrel, and then this would be the Bardstown.
I was given
so this is
false
definitely
information.
Old Scout. The way I poured them was in least expensive to most expensive. You can go ahead and pour a small amount just to make sure.
So you had poured, Bardstown would have been the last. So
Yeah.
this should have been in the middle if Rich switched them.
Right.
Okay, but let's just, I'm going to pour you a little bit more of these 2. I just poured, on the one in your hand right now is Four Roses.
Oh no, there's all sorts of confusion going
I
on.
promise. And I'm going to double check your work. Rick didn't make it, unfortunately.
Left to right, A, B, C. It was so simple. It's so complicated.
Next time we're doing it my way. It's basically the same thing. It's just we would have 3 pieces of paper. You'd keep the glasses on the piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Under the piece of paper, we'd write
Just
what it is.
Switch it around.
Yeah, and then when somebody else moves them around, so we don't know which paper's left to right, then we each grab one off of the papers in sequence, and then we say, okay, the first one's the one on the left paper, the second one's on the second paper, etc. And then we just flip the papers over, and it says what it is. So we don't have to remember.
Man, why haven't we been doing this the whole time?
Bardstown was like the winner, and you know it's not bad. It's got good mouth coating.
Wait, we said Four Roses was the winner.
No, it was Bardstown. The second thing that I said. Because
We said the middle. God damn it.
Yeah, the middle one. That was the Bardstown.
That was Bardstown?
Yeah, because remember I went cheapest to.
Well, because when you said this is this and this is this, you said Four Roses was the middle.
I know, and then I changed it, and I was like, wait, no, yeah, that was it.
So Bardstown was the one in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I like that, and so you can just cut the video off at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, no, wait, it was this, and then you can bring it back here if you want. But, yeah, I wasn't impressed with any of them, honestly. Like, from my experiences, not that I thought any of them were like. My experiences were, okay, so Bardstown, like, you know, we picked it as our favorite. It's not bad. But for, like, 50, 60 bucks, and it's only 100 proof. Like, I'd never buy that again. Yeah, I mean, like, it's good, but, you know, for like that amount of money, those, I've got like 5 other things that are like 50 to 60, $50 to $70, and I'd
rather have those.
way choose those over that. And then kind of the same thing, but to a lesser extent for the Four Roses for 45 bucks. Like, it's not bad. It's pretty good. People, whenever you ask people, like, and of course there are very few options at that like $30 to $50 range. That's definitely like one of the top like 2 that they suggest, and like, I don't know, it's not as good for my palate. I can understand it. It's I'd say it's worth the money, I guess, but for me, Knob Creek or Rare Breed would be definitely, I'd choose those over it. And then for the Old Scout, like, no, I can't hate on the Old Scout. It's only 30 bucks from what I bought it for. But yeah, even for that, there's lots of other things I would get. The thing about it, though, for me, that I think I've figured out, because I really love that George Remus over there that I've got single barrel, and I want to get the just regular. And the Belle Meade, they're all MGP, and that is too. And it's got that initial that I said tastes kind of like toast or something. I don't know that taste, and I really like it. But that sweetness just, it's all over. It doesn't taste good. And it wasn't that, when I first initially opened it, like the neck pour was actually better because I didn't get as much of that. And then it kind of mellowed out, and it was more that sweet. It was more prevalent and just not. So yeah, that's that. They're all decent. I wouldn't recommend against any of them, but
yeah,
I would recommend other things.
Probably better options for each of those 3 price points. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Desperately need to end this video because it's running on.
Let's go back through all of the bourbons. That's what it tastes like to me on this. I don't know. I hate to try that if that's the one that's supposed to taste like that, but
maybe a little bit of a candy cane.
What's happening?
3rd sip of Rick's ASMR.
Being massaged by. You're being massaged by a beautiful woman.
you gotta make sure to have it be really moist sounding. Like, and now for our second bourbon of the night.
Like your
It's
mouth's like
going to be
salivating while you're talking. I can't wait to listen to all this later.
I have a strong feeling, audience, that, well, the third
I'm falling asleep.
is going to be quite effervescent and quite juicy. I can't even do
The
it.
tingles. The brain tingles. I'm getting.
It's all gross. You can hear like the, it's like
Yeah.
an old person talks,
Smacking.
or it's like in the back of your gums. That'll be a pretty fresh joke, making fun of ASMR stuff.
Oh yeah.
First one's to that
Innovation.
tune.